What's up, guys? Matt Brown here, folks. Lions.com. Let's talk some Monday Night Football. It is the Raiders and the Lions, as you can see over here. In our preview, we are sitting 7.5 for the most part on the Lions. There is a 7 that's available as of this recording. Don't know if that'll be available by the time you see this, but do want to point out, shop around. There are a 7 did pop up out there. 46.5 to 47 is your total. In this one, I'll scroll down. You can start to read some of the preview. What we know here from an injury standpoint, it is going to be Jimmy Garoppolo back under center for the Raiders. Good, I guess. Got to be better than Brian Hoyer. Probably better than Aiden O'Connell. So you do get Jimmy Garoppolo back if you are a Raiders backer. On the Detroit side of things, no David Montgomery tonight, but Jahmyr Gibbs got featured last week and actually looked pretty good when he stepped in at the running back position there. So just not a huge downgrade in my personal opinion in this matchup because it is the Raiders, but something to point out if you are if you're a David Montgomery lover out there. Listen, from a side perspective, if you watched any of our Megapod preview, that, by the way, you should. It's absolutely free, everything we do here on this channel. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Whenever that pops up, it'll end up in your feed. Adam Candy absolutely loves this teaser leg, getting this thing down, to basically a point and a half. I can't really fault him for wanting to play this game that way. If you look, the Raiders have been very poor at just about everything so far this season, but in particular, they cannot run the ball at all. And when I say they can't run the ball at all, their rushing offense EPA, which is expected points added, 32nd, dead last in the NFL. Their rushing offensive success rate, 31st in the NFL. If you look and you start say, okay, well, maybe this, what about DVOA? Maybe they're a little bit better there. Rushing offense DVOA, 32nd in the NFL. So they're either last or second to last in every single advanced category when it comes to running the ball. And it's because the defenses just don't respect Jimmy Garoppolo throwing the ball deep. He's just not that guy. He's a check down Charlie guy. And so with that, they're playing closer to the line and just, they can't get anything going. Like Josh Jacobs just can't get anything going at all running the ball. And so they become a little bit more one-dimensional as these games progress because teams get leads on them and stuff. And the next thing you know, if you're forcing Jimmy Garoppolo to throw all the time, it's not really a good formula for the Raiders. The other problem here is Max Crosby. Ever since Chandler Jones, had his problems and stuff. So Max Crosby now can be double-teamed and triple-teamed and everything like that. And so outside of that, there's no talent on the defensive line. So their pressure rate on the opposing quarterback is 30th. Despite the fact that you have Max Crosby, one of the best pass rushers in the NFL, they don't respect anybody else on the defensive line. And so they just make sure that he can't do anything. And with that, no one else can get any pressure. And so they're second to last and getting pressure on the quarterback. So here's Jared Goff going back home in a dome, likely not being pressured the whole time, just standing in there, standing in the pocket. So with that, you have a very comfortable Jared Goff, who, by the way, has looked pretty good this year. I'll admit, Jared Goff is a punching bag for a long time. Jared Goff has been good. And so now he goes back home in the dome with no pressure on him. And you start to say, in what world are we seeing a loss here by this Lions team? So someone might point and say, okay, I'll tell you how we get a loss. We get a loss because Amon-Ra St. Brown is questionable with an illness in this game. So Amon-Ra St. Brown might not be out there. Well, I'll give you that. That's certainly not good by any stretch of the imagination. But we have seen this team without Amon-Ra St. Brown already once this season at home against a bad team. They played the Panthers at home without Amon-Ra St. Brown. They scored 42 points in that game. Jared Goff, a very efficient 236, 3 touchdowns. Josh Reynolds led the way. Sam Laporta got several targets. You get my point. That they're good enough, even without Amon-Ra St. Brown, to beat bad teams. And the Raiders are a bad team. So for me, as we sit, and we were talking about this, The flat 7 would be playable. I mean, the push equity is up there, as you guys know. The key numbers 3, 7, 6. The three biggest key numbers. 20% of all games fall on either 3, 7, or 6. But the 7, the flat 7, even getting that hook off of there is something I would play. I love the teaser leg, just like Adam does. Getting this one down to a point and a half is very appealing to me. And if you're looking for some dance partners, right, we can look into week 9 right here. And you could come in, and I'm not saying I would play this. I'm just saying there are a lot of different options for you. So you could roll this teaser leg into week 9 bets. You can see here's a 2.5 point spread here. You could take the Titans up. You could take the Dolphins up. You could take the Rams up. You could take the Bucks up. Going a little bit further, you could take the Browns down. You could take the Commanders up, which would be my leg of choice. The Commanders up to 8.5 against this Patriots team. You could take the Panthers up to 8.5. You get the point. There are a ton of different options in week 9 for you to match up with this teaser leg. So do like that a lot. And again, the flat 7, not the 7.5, but the flat 7, I would lay it with Detroit as well. Even if Amon-Ra St. Brown can't go, this offense is potent enough to beat a bad defense and get it done. Jahmyr Gibbs kind of coming into his own this past week, which I think takes us to what else we're looking at here in this one. From a total standpoint, though, I will say this. I'm a little scared off by the total because I do think the range of outcomes in this is pretty wide. We have seen this Raiders offense just look completely like a complete dud at times, right? And so if that's the case, an over is always scary when we're looking at one team basically to do all the work. So I don't really like that a ton. And then the other reason the reason the under is scary to me is that, like I said, the Lions, even without Amon-Ra St. Brown, against a bad team in the Panthers, scored 42 points at home against a bad team. And so what if the Lions go out there and do the exact same thing against this Raiders team? If they score high 30s, low 40s, then your under bet's going to get screwed, even if the Raiders only go for 10 points in the game. So just a little bit of a scary total for me, so I'm not going to be playing that. If you head over to the Lions homepage, and you can hit this prop tool right there, as you see, then you can type in anyone's name. And I just talked about Jahmyr Gibbs, and Jahmyr Gibbs going to be the prominent figure in the backfield here for the Lions. This is a guy that they spent a lot of draft capital on. Everybody was super excited about. And so like Jahmyr Gibbs, the thing that I like on him, because he is such a dynamic playmaker, is instead of just the straight rush yards, I like the rush and receiving yards of the over 99.5. I don't have a ton of an edge here in this one, but I do have him at 112. So 10% edge, according to my totals here. So not the biggest of edges, but again, if you're looking to get some props into your account, I would play that on Jahmyr Gibbs. The one that I like a lot better in this one is a prop on Michael Mayer. And let's see, there we go. And Michael Mayer, tight end for the Raiders in this one. Look, Jimmy Garoppolo, like I said, he's just checked down Charlie. That's what he wants to do. That's how he likes to play. Mayer stays close to the line, gets a lot of high percentage throws from Garoppolo. Garoppolo loves throwing to him as well. If you look at the Garoppolo starts, he's averaging way more catches and targets whenever Garoppolo's under center than anybody else. And so we're only asking for 22 receiving yards. I think a lot of people are kind of starting to realize this as well, because this was 20.5 last night. So this has gone up a full yard. So let's go ahead and get on it while we can. But the over 21.5 yards for Mayer. Plus, if I do expect them to be trailing in this one, even more opportunity for Mayer to be getting those catches. And so let's get in the 21.5 on Mayer as well. But love the Detroit teaser leg. Would lay the 7, only the flat 7. The 7.5 is good. I would take a pass. No real play on the total. Really like the Mayer prop. And then if you just are looking for some other way to play this, like I said, I like the Jahmyr Gibbs, but I would like the combined rushing and receiving. Guys, everything we do at the line's absolutely free, so head on over here. You can see, be sure and take advantage of that prop tool before you bet any of the props to make sure you're getting the place with the best number or the least amount of juice. So be sure and do that. And then upper right-hand corner, that is the Discord. Discord is where we are talking every single sport all day long. So go in, see what you're looking at, see what everybody else is looking at, and see if maybe there's something you missed somewhere along the way. A lot of smart people over there talking some sports all day long over there. That's absolutely free as well. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and then let us know how are you playing this Monday Night Football game between the Raiders and the Lions, and hopefully cashing us some tickets this evening. Good luck on all your Monday Night Football bets.